Alas, we reach the business end of the NPL Victoria men's campaign. Round 23 action with a Port Melbourne side eager to keep themselves firmly within the top 6 race. But a win for Dandenong City against, well, fellow Port Melbourne-ish side, location-wise, South Melbourne last night, has made the task all the more difficult for Nick Marinos' men. Green Gully, their season essentially over at this point, currently in 11th place. But optimism potentially on the horizon as several former Port Melbourne players line up in this Gully 11, including, of course, Emmanuel Peters, who will make his first appearance against the Port Melbourne Sharks since defecting several weeks ago in the transfer window. And we'll take you through the starting lineups for this evening's contest, starting off with the away side, Green Gully. Number 2, J.C. Armour. Number 1, Liam Driscoll. Number 16, Josh Hope. Number 10, Gianluca Iannucci. Number 22, Thierry Iradakunda. Number 21, Jamie Latham. Number 11, Emmanuel Peters. Number 5, Jalil Regaig. Number 4, Taylor Shrivers. Number 19, Justin Spiteri. And number 8, Luca Tavia. And yes, that is not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, 4 ex-Port Melbourne Sharks players. Of course, you do not include Mohamed Adam, who does not feature in the squad list tonight. As for the Port Melbourne Sharks, winless in their last few matches, and a very big occasion on the horizon for them this evening. Number 12, Alex Baker. Number 14, Luke Barfarosh. Number 25, Alex Bechvinovsky. Number 18, Fraser Dunlop. Number 2, Mark Latsis. Number 28, Nathaniel Hancock. Number 11, Charlie Leach. Number 22, Maker. Number 27, Andrew Mezzaruni. Number 1, Ilya Shalamanov Trenkov. And number 10, Owen Stokes, who takes the captain's armband tonight. Luca Tavia, Jalil Regaig, Emmanuel Peters, and Mohamed Adam. Those are the former ex-Port Melbourne Sharks players who line up in Green Gully colours. And it's a big legacy game for that man over there, Luca Tavia. Has scored in each of the last 5 meetings between the Port Melbourne Sharks and Green Gully. Can he score yet again this evening? Shalamanov Trenkov with the clearance, of course, was displaced in goals by Evan Marco Giannakis in recent weeks, but returns this week. We do see Jalil Regaig there, the former West United youth captain in NPL 3. Now known as VPL 2. Of course, he's sporting a bit of a blonde tinge this evening, so very nice indeed as a long ball's played towards Latham. Looks to get the touch away, and that will be seen out for a corner. Of course, Latham's former side and Moreland City falling narrowly to Heidelberg United. Unfortunately for them, in the 94th minute, Sabit and Gore with the late winner there. We'll see Gianluca Iannucci take the resulting corner. I am your solo commentator for today, by the way, Neil Simons. Very grateful to take you through the action on a very cold evening here at JL Murphy Reserve, and hasn't kept out a few supporters who have looking to bear the cold weather at the grandstand. Iannucci looking to send one in, and unfortunately can't do so. As Port Melbourne winless in their last 7 matches, and it's been a mass exodus for them, though, in the transfer window. A total of 4 players leaving the club to other Victorian sides, including the likes of Ethan Brooks, who ended up at Northcote City, Emmanuel Peters, who lines up, of course, for Green Gully, as previously mentioned, and, of course, Jackson Courtney Perkins and Dan Edwards, both featured in a 2-1 win over the Dandenong Thunder for Avondale. Avondale also becoming a bit of a haven for ex-Port Melbourne Sharks players, if you include the likes of Liston Diaz, the aforementioned Courtney Perkins, Edwards, and of course their former number 10, George Mells. Here's Tavia. Beautiful cutaway, and it's sent into the mixer for Josh Hope. Ball slightly behind him and couldn't exactly get his laces through it. What a career resurgence for him ever since taking that break from football about 4 years ago. Tasmanian-born midfielders had a new lease of life here at Green Gully, despite not ever making finals under Stephen Downs or with Ramon Falzon. He certainly had a very good few seasons. Fraser Dunlop in an offside position. Himself emerging as one of the better Port Melbourne Sharks players this season, of course, making the move from Western Australia last season from Bayswater United. Was an ex-Perth Glory player as well in their youth system. Played alongside Charlie Leach, as we do see him in the number 11 shirt. Here's Shrivers. Crosses to Pateri. Latham. Here's Shrivers once more. Searching ball over the top. Hancock will look to deal with it first. He does so. Maker under some slight pressure from Latham, at a very staunch press enforced by Ramon Falzon. As a good touch from Regaig. Here's Shrivers. Spiteri. A good lead for Tavia. Look at it cut away. Adam Bavkar not blowing his whistle just yet. And the man in the middle for us this evening. Here's Spiteri. Looking down the line for Latham, and Latsis does well to contend. Here is Barfarosh. A familiar face here at JL Murphy Reserve, Luke Barfarosh. Spent time here in 2021 before moving across to the USA. Playing his college soccer there and at North Florida. Also did have a brief stint with Brunswick Juventus last season in NPL2. Latsis picks off the ball here. Here's Barfarosh. Mazzaruni looking to slide it towards Bechmanovsky, but couldn't quite find the purchase required on that occasion. Regaig. Siama. Hooking it towards Tavia. Good little first touch and looking to upend Maker. Shalamanov, Trenkov. Very long clearance, and Mezzarini will be unable to get a touch onto that. Here's Regaig. Pull a pass out towards that left-hand side, and we'll now see the throw-in taken by the Sharks. Of course, Gully without several players who take up positions on the bench and also on the far side. A great ball towards Mazzaruni, who will latch onto this one, and a good shot on target for him. And Driscoll, easy pickings for him. Mazzaruni having a great start to life with the Port Melbourne Sharks this season after arriving across of course the South Melbourne youth product. Spent time with Lamia as well in Greece. Only just a one senior year appearance. Latsis. Twisting, turning is Owen Stokes. Hancock. Now Maker. Surging ball towards Bechmanovsky, and now see the throw in. Here's Barfarosh. Used to sport a large, dare I say, Sideshow Bob-esque haircut, and has shaved it all off now. Now the buds. They're talking about going from one extreme to the other. Here is Leach. Barfaros used to be a ball ordering fullback. Looks like he's shifted into a more number 6 role, if you like. And here is Maker. Hancock. Marinos ushering his men forward. Latsis infield, lateral towards Charlie Leach. A very diminutive midfielder is Mr. Leach. Arriving across in the alternate Magic has played a much deeper role this season as Latsis will pick up. But unfortunately for Fraser Dunlop, he was in an offside position yet again. Not quite reading the play as best as he would like, you'd have to say. And here is Regag. Yanucci. Here is Tavia. And Barfaros providing plenty of chase. Sharks looking to play out of their defensive third, but it's picked up by Iannucci. And delivers it towards Latham. An excellent first touch. Slightly away from his body. And Maker will pick up the scraps. An excellent first touch from Owen Stokes. We'll look to find Bechmanovsky on that far side. Regag. Of course, himself and Tavia are very acquainted with this venue. Tavia having spent 2 seasons here, Regag just the one. And did have a very big knack for scoring goals at this very venue as well, did Jalil Regag. Once scored an absolute belter from just about halfway against Richmond SC in the early rounds of the Doherty Cup last season. Here's Mark Latsis. Hancock. Stokes. Put under pressure by Josh Hope. Leach. Looking to drive. Out of the foot pass. Directed towards Fraser Dunlop, but Mazzarini was there for support as well, of course. The Sharks not really with a natural number 9, of course, with the departure of Emmanuel Peters in the mid-season window. Did see Tom Barfaros walking around before as well. So perhaps he could put an end to the Sharks' striking woes. Of course, a fantastic free kick from Fraser Dunlop a few weeks ago against the Oakley Cannons. Could give them some form of inspiration. The Sharkies, the massive task this evening. They have to win to keep their finals hopes alive. Started off the season brilliantly well, overperformed in every possible way, and has really fell by the wayside since that point forward. Dunlop, of course, with the goal last week as well against Dandenong Thunder. 3-1 loss for them. Looking to break the space on that far side, Green Gully. Here's Iradakunda. It's Tavia. Enjoying a long spell of possession here. Ramon Falzon's men. Latham. Strong sliding challenge from Barfaros, and Stokes, with an exquisite touch, will force it towards Nathaniel Hancock. The diagonal towards Fraser Dunlop. Encouraged to take on the defenders. Here's Owen Stokes. I mean, what an amazing career Owen Stokes has had. Of course, an Irish youth international, actually played against Leroy Sane at one point. And a product of Leeds United, where he made his senior debut in 2017 against Newport County in the Cup. And arrived from Christchurch United with 18 goals in 25 games. Hasn't exactly repeated that goal-scoring output, but has proved to be a valuable player at the heart of this Port Melbourne attack. There's a rain beginning to come down now. It's very cold, very wet. The pitch is very damp as well. Walking across it to the commentary gantry earlier on, it's not great conditions for football, but this is pure NPL Victoria. This is the treat you get at this very time in the midst of June. Sorry, July, should I say. Here's Owen Stokes. Long searching ball towards that right flank. A good touch from Bechvanovsky, but Regaig sends that way up and high off the line from Green Gully. As Shamanov Trenkov in a bit of a scurry there to get the ball clear, but once again the Sharks can retain possession, this time through Mark Latsis. We're going to go on a run of his own as Latsis, as he bodies his way into Justin Spiteri, of course the Maltese youth international. Very scuffy moments in this contest as the ball finds its way out of play. Absolutely horrendous conditions here at JL Murphy, as we do apologise if there's a bit of water drops on the lens. Here's Maker. Mezzaruni onside. It's Leach. Out towards Hancock. Iannucci. The reverse pass. Iradakunda will look to drive. And Latham is in position. An excellent first touch from the Welshman. Cutting on to his left. It's Jamie Latham, twisting, turning, forcing his way towards a byline and earns himself a corner. Shows him Muhammad Adam is in the squad. And we do see him warming up as well. Hook towards Emmanuel Peters as the rain looks to dry up after that momentary spell. Hopefully that does not continue. The rain, that is. Of course, we want conditions to be as dry as possible. And Green Gully not short of departures their own, with Shifa Ahmed moving across to Western United. What a great story he has been. And something these sides do have in common is teenagers moving across to Western United, with Dylan Leonard and Mark Leonard, two prominent fixtures of this Port Melbourne side, moving across to Western United in the most recent off-season. And Dylan actually now is a fully fledged Australian youth international. Leach. So a great story for Port Melbourne, as Emmanuel Peters will look to latch on to this ball. Sent high and over the top. And it's all good for Salamanov Trenkov. Talk about Green Gully's enormous attacking output. I mean, Adisu Bayu has barely featured this season. Adisu Bayo, of course, arriving across from Western United as well. Dalibor Markovic can go up and down the flanks, more so a left fullback. Lucas Derrick, unfortunately, went down with looked to be a broken arm against Heidelberg United earlier in the campaign, and he hasn't really featured since. But it hasn't really quite clicked for Green Gully after much hype around their squad earlier on in the campaign. It was Stokes, upended initially, but does find its way towards Alex Baker. Hooked all the way towards Fraser Dunlop, who can't keep it in play. And the Sharks cheaply give away possession. Neither side have really had the ascendancy whatsoever. Posits a very distinct challenge. These conditions for both sides. Who can play the conditions in the most effective manner? That is the real question to be asked. As Nathaniel Hancock finds Maker. What a storied career he's had. The ex-Victory Youth player, formerly of Dandenong Thunder as well, and this is his second stint at the Sharks, of course. Hancock once more. Looking down the line, and Lathan does fantastically well, and here's Iradikunda. Spiteri. Calls another ex-Green Gully youngster, Garangaroo, also making a move to A-League youth side and the off-season. Here is Josh Hope, who's got space to drive. Josh Hope still going, looking towards the byline, and the last touch did come off Hope, it did appear, and Barfarosh was very, very quick to signal to Adam Bavkar. This did come off Josh Hope's foot. I guess we could recap the results so far. This round, of course, coming to the end of the season, it looks like number 6 on the NPL Victoria table is a position more or less up for grabs. A few teams fighting for that spot and vying for that position. Of course, Port Melbourne now dropping to 8th place due to Melbourne Knights securing a very important, might I say, 2-1 win over the Altona Magic last night. South Melbourne, of course, falling to Dandenong City was the main shock result. Avondale with a 2-1 win over the Dandenong Thunder this afternoon. And also Heidelberg United with a 3-2 win over Moreland City. And Hume City are also in action this evening against Manningham United at 7 p.m. Very exciting few weeks of football in Victoria with the Doherty Cup final alongside the Australia Cup round of 32 clashes. As we approach finals time, the NPL certainly getting back to its best. Here's Maker. Stokes upended, but Maker will try his luck at it once more. In towards Barfarosh. Looks short. Siyama is his pocket was picked on that occasion. Here is Iradikunda. Another West United midfielder was Iradikunda at one point in time, after spending time at the Melbourne Victory Academy. Has really done the NPL Victoria merry-go-round with the Bentley Greens and also Melbourne Knights in recent years. Looks to be at home at Green Gully, which is good news for him. Here's Shrivers. Neither side with a distinct effort on goal whatsoever in 22 minutes played, which is quite the abnormality in this competition. Might that change with Fraser Dunlop on the ball here? In a rich vein of form, looking to body past Josh Hope, driving towards the byline, and Shivers will get a clear. The turn from Tavia. Leach sliding on the deck, and now Regaig looking to make one of his trademark runs forward. Hancock. Him and Emmanuel Peters, I'm sure, would have been in many little cage games here at JL Murphy in training and whatnot. So I'm sure they both know how to play each other to full effect. Maker. Gully enforcing such an enormous press forward as Baker with the attempted diagonal. But I think the wind carried that all the way towards Liam Driscoll and goals, the former Reading youth goalkeeper. Shrivers. Tavia. Maker. Bufferosh. Hancock. Assessing options, can't find any. Well, in the last 7 meetings between these two sides, goals certainly not hard to come by. That has to be certain. We'll touch on that in a few moments following this Port Melbourne attack as Regaig picks off possession. Here is Tavia. The incisive ball directed towards Emmanuel Peters, but he can't exactly latch on to that either. And it's Josh Hope will pick up the space, and Owen Stokes will charge into the former Melbourne Victory midfielder and will win the free kick. The last 4 out of the last 5 times they've met, Port Melbourne have scored first. Gully haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 7 meetings against the Sharks. We'll see Luca Tavia deliver a ball fairly deep, you'd say about 35 yards out from goal, on the tall timber of Shrivers, and Regaig will likely be utilised, or attempt to be at the very least, as it's hooked away by the Sharks. Ziyama. Yanucci, with tricky feet, will send one into the mixer once more. It's Regaig, and might not yet fall for Tavia. Looking to weave away past Charlie Leach and drop back into his natural number 10 position, as Terry will send a deep ball in, and it's latched away by the Sharks once more. Could it be 3rd time's a charm for Green Gully? Siyama looking to go on a run of his own. High looping ball. And Dunlop will pick up. Mezzaruni. It's right into the back of Regaig. I don't think he knew much about that at all. Here is Tavia. Hope. It's Latham. Now Spiteri. Latham. A teasing ball towards Mark Latsis. Hope. Siyama. Baker. Stokes with the first time touch. Petchmanovsky. And he cheaply gives away possession, the former Melbourne City youth product, and I'm sure many people know by now of the fantastic and long and rich history that he has within his family. Alex Petchmanovsky. His father, in fact, of course, the great Sash, colloquially known as the greatest ever post-war goal scorer in Victoria, formerly of Green Gully. As his son, Alex, sends a ball towards Mazzaruni. Wasn't quite successful in his pursuit. Latham, the first time touch from Hope, and will define the Welshman once more. Incisive ball towards Peters. It's slightly overhit. And Hancock will look to bat this clear. In fact, he doesn't do so until he finds the touchline. Hope. Oh, that's an exquisite turn and looked to unleash Latham. Rolled across the face towards Tavia. Shapes and shoots. Shot blocked. And it looks like a player is down, and it looks to be Nathaniel Hancock, who's in quite some way. The physio will be called. Not much to speak of in 28 minutes. I'd say one of the most nondescript football matches you would have seen this season in the NPL Victoria. There's barely been a shot on target, or shot at all, should we say, from either side whatsoever. So there's definitely a lot to ponder for either side heading into the latter stages of this tie. As we'll have a drop ball now. Nick Marinos with some very interesting words towards Fraser Dunlop, it looks like, on the near touchline. Sulamanov Trenkov will take this resulting drop ball. It looks like Hancock is still receiving some treatment, so will Nick Marinos go to his bench? That is the question. Sulamanov Trenkov. High ball. And Baker stepping in. Hope. Oh, that's an enormous challenge for Iradikunda. A very poor one at that. It looks like Adabavkar will go into his pocket and draw him a yellow card, the first of this evening. Looks like Hancock is still receiving treatment, so might Marinos go to his bench? It's already been 2 minutes since he went down, and Bavkar having a bit of a discussion with Taylor Shrivers, it looks like. Neither side should really be happy with their first 30 minutes whatsoever. Hancock is back on the field. Petronovsky looks to be okay as well, so good news for the Sharks, as play is set to resume any moment now. It's hooked towards Dunlop, who heads it right into the arms of Liam Driscoll. And Latham is going to latch onto this throw from the Western Australian. Here is Peters towards Josh Hope! Just drifting wide of the goal. And Gully's first sight on goal comes from their talisman in that number 10 role, Josh Hope. Marinos very upset with the lack of marking thereof for Mr. Josh Hope. You cannot afford him any time and space. He can lash one home from any position on the pitch. Here's Owen Stokes. Loft the ball over the top. It's there for Regaig. Slightly away from his body is Jalil Regaig. A little bit of a turn, and here it is for Josh Hope now. Dunlop. Good first touch. Lattis. Maker. Hancock. Barfarosh. The one-time ball directed towards Bechvanovsky, and the Sharks really unable to create combinations going forward. They need to find the final pass or two. That's what Nick Marinos loves to emphasise, is the one-touch football. In transition, of course, the Port Melbourne Sharks like to do their damage in that vicinity of the pitch, and it's also a very young bench, might I add, for the Port Melbourne Sharks as well. So the utilisation of experience will come from their starters, as Leach will hook one towards Baker. Nucci doing his defensive work, tracking back, and Iradikunda upended. Him and Barfarosh toing and froing as he goes to deck now, and Adam Bavkar not blowing his whistle. Perhaps the right decision in that phase of play. The Sharks now enjoying a very comfortable spell of possession. Here is Maker. Hancock. Baker with a searching ball. Bechvanovsky with the touch. Barfarosh. The 1-2 executed to perfection. And Barfarosh will unleash a cross towards the near post. Might fall kindly for Stokes. Maker urged to drive. Picked up by Dunlop. Might fall kindly for Charlie Leach! Well, the celebration indicates he's cooking, and he has done at the base of midfield, but driving up the field, he gets his first goal for the Sharks. He had to come 23 rounds in, but it might arrive at the opportune time. Charlie Leach. Perhaps against the run of play, but the Sharks, they definitely deserve that opener. And Gully left to rue once again. Survival more or less secure, but falling 1-0 to a, well, I think calling them depleted does them very kindly. Port Melbourne Sharks, they have to attack with more of a spring in their step, and that man Charlie Leach, what a moment for him. He's been waiting for that. He's expressed to his fellow teammates. He's been wanting a goal, and he's got one. And Iannucci will look one to fly! Oh my word! This boy has got something in his right foot. An absolute worldie to make it 1-1. Incredible. Gianluca Iannucci. Beautiful purchase. And Chalamanov Trenkov literally knew nothing about that whatsoever, as it just glided into the back of the net after not even having a shot on target in the first 25 minutes. We've been treated to 2 goals within 3 minutes. Unbelievable. This game has well and truly been brought to life here at JL Murphy Reserve. Do not adjust your TV sets, iPhone, tablet, wherever you're watching. What an absolute perler from Iannucci. He's got a knack for scoring goals of that ilk, and he certainly has repeated what we have seen from him in seasons gone by. And Gianluca Iannucci, what an absolute worldie that was. And that will mark yet another goal for his campaign, and has been a shining light in what has been an otherwise pretty dismal campaign for Green Gully, his third season in Gully colours. Iannucci with the low delivered cross towards Latham. Iannucci towards the back stick. Peters is there. Spiteri. Tavia. Twisting and weaving. Barfarosh, Leach. Looking to drive, and Josh Hope sends an arm into the back of Leach, but regulatory according to Adam Bavkar. And it looks like maybe Iannucci's GPS is has escaped his shirt, maybe. I mean, he's playing with, like, it looks like something on his neck at the very least. I'm not sure what it is, but we might get some clarification at halftime or post-game. Maybe it's another camera. Hopefully we got a first-person view of that absolute screamer, maybe. Who knows? The Sharks will have to come away now, this time through Baker. Delivered to the near post, and Reggae bats that away yet again. Crowd slowly growing here at J.L. Murphy, and they have been treated to two absolute peaches within the space of 3 minutes or so, as Jamie Latham looks to be in a bit of a hurry here. Leach. Hancock. Here is Maker. Good first time ball from Owen Stokes towards the byline, and Port Melbourne earn themselves a corner, now approaching the 41-minute mark in this contest. And the rain continuing to come down, and the conditions aren't getting any better. It's going to be a scrappy one in the second half, you have to say. I'm sure many of the supporters here might want to go to their cars to retrieve an extra jacket or two, maybe. Some more layers can't do you any harm whatsoever. Now the delivery will arrive towards a near post. Barfarosh. Iradikunda now. Lattis. Great return to football for him in recent seasons following his horror leg injury whilst playing for Kingston City against the Melbourne Victory. Here's Dunlop, swerving around the edge of the area, forced towards the corner flag. Leach. The lateral ball finds Stokes. The 1-2 touch, and Stokes. Mezzaruni! And Driscoll was right towards him, and he did his due diligence and made the save in a very effective fashion, that is to be said. Here is Nathaniel Hancock. Left by Owen Stokes. And a bit of work to do for Jalil Reggae, but he'll leave it out of play. And the wind certainly played a role in this contest as well, it has to be said. I mean, it's definitely swerving, I'd say, in an easterly direction. And you'd say that would probably favour Green Gully, as you never know where the ball's going to zip when it comes to shots, and maybe the wind played a factor in that. Gianluca Iannucci goal. Shrivers. Spiteri. twirling onto his left. Spiteri. Regag. Former Ballarat City Junior. Doing his work in the northern western suburbs at Green Gully Reserve. Tavia tracking deep. Looking for a ball that would wrap around, but couldn't quite do so. And space for Bechvinovsky to drive. Got Mezzaruni for support. Bechvinovsky, Mezzaruni. And does pick the pockets of his defenders, but unfortunately for him, he can't find the reverse ball for Bechvinovsky. Approaching stoppage time, I'm sure both sides will be eager to go into the sheds as quick as they possibly can. Looking to get some shelter and probably some warmth as well. Oh, they probably will be pretty warmed up. Spiteri. Looking to find Tavir in a pocket of space and has earned a throw in. As we look to the fourth official, it looks like it'll be 2 minutes of added time. Now Dunlop looking to do some work. It's Latham laterally towards Iradakunda, and Tavir upended by Dunlop, and he'll look to drive. He keeps it in somehow, and Tavir with a strong challenge as well, and has deemed that to be gully ball. So 2 minutes of added time in this first half. Both sides with plenty to ponder going into the halftime break. Port Melbourne would be eager to secure a goal. I guess they have to at this point with only 3 rounds left following this one. There are going to be some mouth-watering clashes for them in the coming few weeks. As Barfarosh will send it across to Nathaniel Hancock. Here is Alex Baker. Hancock. An enormous delivery, but couldn't find it once more. It's actually Port Melbourne who are looking for more long balls, it looks like, in these opening 45 minutes. And you'd have to say, you have to play to the conditions and play to the conditions of the pitch as well. And they've certainly done that, and they've got their just reward 35 minutes in. But unfortunately for them, the wind playing a huge factor in that second goal. And I think Gully just have more technical quality as well, as Baker looks to send one into the mixer, and Regag is there to pick up once more. And he'll look to go on a little bit of an adventure himself, driving all the way towards that left-hand touchline. The rain getting heavier and heavier now. It is going to be an absolute swimming pool out there in that second half if it continues like this. Here is Stokes. Shrivers. Now Tavir. Shirt was slightly pulled there. And that is the halftime whistle from Anabavka. Goals from Charlie Leach and Gianluca Iannucci is what currently leaves things at this current state of play. We'll be back in 15 minutes or so for the second half. Welcome back to this NPL round number 23 clash between Port Melbourne Sharks and the Green Gully. It is horrendously cold here, but we do have two absolutely incredible goals from Charlie Leach and Gianluca Iannucci to watch back on. But what trajectory will the contest take in this second half? As we do see the final Green Gully assistant make his way towards the touchline, and we'll have second half kickoff imminently. Adam Bavkar looking at his watch. And I'm not exactly sure what the hold-up is here. Yep, there we go. Luke Barfarosh was tying his shoelaces. And Owen Stokes will kick us off in this second term. Hancock looking for a strong diagonal ball towards that left-hand flank, but Justin Spiteri will pick up for Green Gully. Here is the Cavaliers now with Luca Tavia and Regaig towards Siama. Hancock. Well, it's the question was, what is going on with Gianluca Iannucci's top in that first half? Now that he's on this near side, it appears his top has been ripped, and that's why it looks like he has a bit of a black thing hanging around his neck. It's actually his kit. So the fact that he's basically playing with his neck a little bit exposed already in such cold weather, kudos to him. He's braving it out and scored an absolute screamer in that first half. I'm sure they'll be played around the Victorian circles for quite some time. Yeah, it looks like his top is ripped. I mean, that's at least my perspective, but I might be wrong. You never know. Siama looks to clear towards Spiteri. He just keeps it in play. It was overhit for him, or he just quite couldn't get his feet under it. And here is Iradikunda. Now Shrivers. Long ball forward. Make it with a backwards header. Falls right into the path of Peters. The ball sitting right on the deck for him. It looks like the ball is not exactly dealing with the drainage too well on this pitch here at JL Murphy. Baker exchanging headers as Nick Marinos returns to his touchline here at JL Murphy Reserve, and it's now back with Tavia. Here is Jalil Regaig. Hope. Looking for the incisive pass, but couldn't get it clear. It's a good turn from Charlie Leach. Baker looking towards Alex Bechvinovsky. And Driscoll sending it towards Baker. Here's Leach back to goal. He's had an excellent game so far, Charlie Leach, despite the Sharks currently level with the Cavaliers. Here is Regaig. Towards Spiteri. It's come all the way through Gully's system. Couldn't quite get the touch there. This is Justin Spiteri. Here is Iradikunda. Picked off now. Here is Charlie Leach. Incisive ball towards Bechvinovsky. Had to execute it correctly. He couldn't, though. Here's Iannucci. The fantastic diagonal ball towards now Jamie Latham. First initial shot was deflected, or dare I say cross-come shot. Here is Maker. Rabon Falzon, not quite the most active coach in terms of his instructions, but he's now beginning to give instructions to several of his players, as we do see The ball delivered. And Driscoll will leave it here for Jalil Regeg. Good turn from Josh Hope. Barfarosh providing chase. Josh Hope looking to drive. He's got Latham on his right flank. It's Jamie Latham cutting on to his left. Jamie Latham takes a deflection. And the Cavaliers have completed the turnaround through Jamie Latham. His third of the campaign. An integral step for Ramon Falzon's men. Could they get their first win in 3? An important goal for his side as they look to potentially push for finals. Although that task seems slightly too much for them to overcome. Sharks will look to reply quickly, this time through Bechvanovsky. Delivered towards the back post this time, and Trivers has it centered away for a corner. It's a potentially a brighter moment on the horizon for the Port Melbourne Sharks, who have looked good in patches this evening. Of course, they did get the 2-1 win earlier on in the season against Green Gully. Of course, that result coming at Green Gully Reserve, and it was actually goals from Jackson Courtney Perkins, Luca Tavia, and Emmanuel Peters. All three players on opposite sides, no longer with their clubs. Here is Peters. Baker. Leach in space. Dunlop. Isolated with Spiteri. Turning around him, gets a shot away. Might have fallen kindly for Leach, who looks to lunge at it, but couldn't get a distinct strike away. Peters chests it down, ironically, to Luke Barfarosh. Baker. Regag, and yeah, Leach is offside there. Port Melbourne might be forced to look to their bench. Some intriguing talent there, that's to be said. That was brilliant from Latham. And Mezzaruni in space, short towards Stokes. And Latches was pulled down, asking for a free kick. Probably a little bit generous if that would have been given from Anabavka. And the rain now seeping through here once more. Here is Owen Stokes. Looking to hook it in once more. Stokes. Barfarosh. That's a great touch. The shot deflected. Here's Tavia striding forward, and Hancock with an immensely strong challenge, and he's given a yellow card, and he's quite dissatisfied. The former South Melbourne defender. Spent time at Adelaide, Croatia as well in the past. Having a bit of a discussion with Adam Bavkar, getting a little bit too close maybe. That's definitely the right decision. Tavir and Leach will stand side by side. Essentially the replacement for Tavir was Charlie Leach, or Owen Stokes you could say, and A great Port Melbourne side that finished second in 2022, more or less a distant memory now. As Tavia delivers. Stokes finds Betranovsky. And Tavia, well, his delivery didn't exactly result in a distinct opportunity for Green Gully, but they certainly have the better of the Port Melbourne Sharks, as we do see a flock of seagulls now come across JL Murphy Reserve. I'm not exactly sure. I've seen seagulls in action at 6:30 p.m. in the winter months of Melbourne, but stranger things have been seen. Maybe those seagulls from Amy Parker made their way all the way to the JL Murphy. Here's Leach. Oh, that's a strong challenge from Iradikunda. And will leave Tavia space to drive. Oh, my word. A huge challenge. And a yellow card as well. And I must say that the water on the pitch made it look a little bit worse as he glided across the deck. That is most definitely a yellow card. I think the player in question might be Owen Stokes, who goes into the book. Might have been lucky to avoid marching orders. It looks like Jordan Gazim is going to be prepared to come on. So this is a big moment for him to potentially change the complexion of this tie in favour of the Port Melbourne Sharks and keep their finals hopes alive. Sharks youth product as well is Jordan Gazin. And Latham will look to strike and will drive towards the back post, and Hancock got ahead to it. Sent up the field by Betranovsky. The touch from Mezzaruni. Keeping it in was Betranovsky, and now Gully. It's with Baker now. Here is Owen Stokes. I'm going to turn the corner. Finds Baker. Barfarosh. Into the back. Was Emmanuel Peters to Luke Barfarosh. Owen Stokes. Now chipped towards Baker. Tavia. Searching delivery, Latham. And the rain slightly light on the deck here at JL Murphy. Sent into the feet of Tavia, but a ball drops kindly. Forced with Terry towards Peters. And that is well and high over the bar. We'll see the first change of the evening from the Sharks. Looks like we'll see the exit of Fraser Dunlop, it looks like. Yes, that has been confirmed now. Fraser Dunlop making way for Jordan Gazim. Looks like he'll take up a spot as a looks to be a left fullback. Baker. Hancock forced to track back. Selamanov Trenkov. Strong clearance. Absolute scrap here. And Stokes' jersey is completely muddied. Good luck to the kit man to clean that jersey. That's to be sure. And Stokes will now drive towards Petchvinovsky, and a sweet turn from Iannucci, almost leaving Baker on the floor. Siyama. Regag. Hooked towards Hancock, who heads it right into the Gully bench. Not sure if Ramon Falzon will be very eager to make any changes anytime soon. It's been quite the performance this evening, a very professional one at that, and you would expect they would make relatively easy work of the Port Melbourne Sharks with the quality that they have at the moment. Wood Green Gully, good catch from Jalil Regag. Fairly acute angle, and Tavia with the switch towards Latham, but in the way were the Sharks. Now Barfarosh. Stokes. Barfarosh. Ryan's the challenge of Josh Hope. And Stokes with an excellent delivery and might find time for Mark Latsis. Rolled across to Mezzaruni, and the Sharks have a way back. Andliko Mezzaruni. What a time to turn provider. Mark Latsis latching onto a beautifully timed ball. And this game is well and truly opened up. That's his 4th of the season. Is having quite the campaign to remember. And after Gully exactly controlled the tempo so well, ever since they secured that second goal, we're now level at 2-2, and the Sharks' season has been kept alive. And as Fraser Dunlop makes the lonely walk to the bench, we have a game on our hands. About half an hour left of regulation, and I'm sure both sides, should I say, will have a spring in their step. Here's Luca Tavia towards Hope. He's been quite quiet this evening ever since his early flurry in that first half. It's towards Peters. It's Alamanov Trenkov, and it's somehow kept out of the Sharks' goal. Would you believe it? It was nearly Emmanuel Peters who caused more troubles for the Sharks. But Gully do get a reprieve in the form of a corner. This game is for the taking for either side. Corner taker quickly. Tavia. Latham will look to deliver. He does so eventually. The acrobatics from Iannucci. That was a scorpion of sorts of backheel. I'm not even sure what that was. He's done the spectacular once this evening. Could he do it a second time? Here is Baker. Hancock. It's Leach. Maker. Here is Nathaniel Hancock. It's Bechvinovsky picked off by Siyama. And we'll look to find Peters, but an excellent sliding effort from Barfarosh. Now Iannucci turning onto his right. Iannucci with a low-driven shot. And it's Selamanov Trenkov who will ironically parry the ball away off the top of the crossbar from Iannucci's previous effort on goal. And usually we would see in these conditions scrappy football. I mean, it's wet, it's cold. The ball is sliding across the deck so easily in patches. But it's been anything but that, as Gazim will now find Mezzaruni, who's onside. Andrew Mezzaruni misses anyway, but he was judged to be offside by the official. Here's Peters, and can't quite get onto the ball there, and Hancock now towards Baker. Hancock. Hancock. Here is Baker. It's a Leach. Oh, turning his defenders away completely for dead, and Leach will continue. A stray touch from Barfarosh. Spiteri. Of course, we've had some thrillers in recent weeks. I mean, the Oakley Cannons against Avondale, that was a 3-3 draw. And some nail biters, I mean, today as well. Heidelberg United up against Moreland City, as Tavir is upended by Luke Barfarosh. Fell late, but there you have it. And we'll see another change for the Sharks. Dane Milovanovic is going to make his way onto the park. Provide a lot of experience. Of course, no player on the Sharks' pitch at the moment is over the age of 30. Milovanovic in his mid-30s. So he will certainly provide that much-needed exposure, of course. Such a vast playing experience. Formerly of Green Gully as well, it has to be said. Played with them a few seasons ago under Stephen Downs. So this is a big opportunity for him. And it looks like Nathaniel Hancock is going to make his way off the park. He's had a really good shift despite some injury, potentially, or damaging injury struggles, and Milovanovic is going to make his way on to the park. Formerly of Madura United as well, in Indonesia, where he's still loved by the fans to this day, to be honest. Had an iconic celebration, and he might look to bring it out tonight if he can secure a Sharks potential winner. Here is Tavir. Here is Siyama. Deep ball towards Josh Hope and Peters. And now all the way towards Jalil Regaig, of all players. Will almost striker's touch. He'll pick up now at the base of midfield. How about that turn from Jalil Regaig? Maybe a striker in the making potentially. I mean, if you were to stick him up top, he would definitely not be the worst option at all. Is Iannucci. Isolated with Baker. Siyama. Back towards Jalil Regaig. And the diagonal completed, or it hits the face of Iannucci, but was composed and calm under pressure. The reverse pass, the nutmeg. Josh Hope still going. He goes down on the edge of the area, but I think he might have made a meal of it. And Barfarosh was there. Now the Sharks will come away with it. Mezzaruni finds Bechvinovsky, but Shrivers was in the way. The Kiwi with an excellent job. Regaig manages to keep it in play. And it's towards Leach. In fact, Stokes will pick up. The Irishman has got space to drive, but finds Mezzaruni. The first touch from Leach. Turns away. It's Charlie Leach! Looking for a second bite of the cherry. Such outstanding technical football we're witnessing this evening here at JL Murphy. And it's a spectacle in every sense of the word. Yeah, I mean, Iannucci, I mean, how good has he been? He'll pick up once again. Gianluca Iannucci. The outside of the foot pass for Josh Hope, approaching the byline. Roll across the face, it's Latham! He was looking for a second. Now Siyama. And the Sharks have got numbers forward. Alex Betvinovsky will take his time. And Stokes, it's left for him. And now Shrivers, this game entering its scrappy moments here with 20 minutes left in regulation time. And Iannucci now just on halfway, still driving forward. Iannucci, he spots Emmanuel Peters. Peters drives, and Peters cannot get a shot away, but it's still kept alive by Green Gully. It's Josh Hope wandering around the penalty area, but couldn't fire a shot away. And all alone is Owen Stokes. Some time to rest now, and it looks like Gully will look to their bench as well for the first time this evening. The player in question will get confirmation in just a few moments, as it's given away by Barfarosh. And Emmanuel Peters, can he latch onto this one? But Sanamanov Trenkov says, no way. In that circumstance, will you get to that, Mr. Peters? The Sharks win back possession through Leach. Looking to beat past Iradikunda. Look, Stokes with a teasing ball. Jai Spiteri is going to make his way onto the park for Green Gully. And ironically enough, Justin Spiteri is going to make his way off the park for him. So we're not going to lose a Spiteri on the pitch. The Maltese man, Ramon Falzon, shaking hands with the Maltese Youth International as he makes his way off the park. Regag. Shrivers. Spiteri. Latham. Spiteri overlapping. Well, if Gully were to look to their bench, I mean, the most obvious change is Mo Adam. Can provide that spark of energy and a lot of pace and a very direct route towards goal as well for him. He's had quite a good campaign. 5 goals for him in Gully colours. Shriver's on launching a bomb, but it will be a goal kick for the Sharks. Maker, slightly pressured, but it will fall kindly for Mark Latzus. Will race forward now, driving into a central position, laterally towards Stokes. He'll look to pop one. Owen Stokes. He was zipping, but not quite into either corner. Game slightly losing a bit of its tempo, and you would expect it would pick up in these last 15 minutes. It's really a game for the taking on this occasion, as Taylor Shriver says, let's go on an adventure, and is upended by Barfarosh. But unfortunately for Gully, they don't have a defender there. But he'll track back all Shrivers. Stokes. Spots Petrovsky, and well done by Chiama. And now Tavia towards Iannucci. On to his right foot now. Iradicunda's had a tiny game in possession. Iradicunda once more. Here is Latham, looking to go to work. Sliding it towards Tavir. It's Latham still going, and Owen Stokes. The two European men, European imports, making their presence felt once more. Delivered towards the back post. Shrivers was there. Milovanovic gets it away for yet another corner. Ball sent onto the other pitch here at JL Murphy Reserve. And Gianluca Iannucci to deliver on the set piece, zipping towards the back stick. And yet another corner now on this far side now. And it'll be Jamie Latham who's going to make the trip up. Or could this be the moment for Green Gully? Driven low. Shriver's free header. Can the Sharks counter? Mezzaruni. It's got space to work with, but outstanding work from Jay Siama. He's had a career game here at left fullback. He's been incredible. Former A-League youth product. Here is Luca Tavia. Hope. Latham. Breaking the space once more. It's Hope. And Leach getting a foot in. Petrovsky asking for the long run forward. Latsis. Gazim. Leach turning away. And the Sharks beginning to usher men forward. Milovanovic, and ball overhit. He wasn't too happy with that. Gully also quite a youthful side in their methods of composition as well. So too the Sharks as well. Lucas Burns also departing the club. I should add 5 departures in that mid-season window. Siama looks to open up space for Charlie Leach, who falls to the ground, but it might have been the pitch that played a role there. Here is Luca Tavia. He spots Latham with space aplenty to work with. Couple of step overs. Latham looking to open up the central angle and spots out Iannucci. You know what he's going to do from this angle, and hits a Port Melbourne player. Now Luca Tavia. Spiteri heads in once more, and it's kept in play by Barfarosh with a sumptuous turn. Now it's picked up by Tavia Peters, and it's Hope. Here is Regag. Looking to pop one from range. And gets his head in the way once more. Iannucci. Tavia opening up the angle. And here is the change. The double change for the Port Melbourne Sharks. And well, one of these changes, an excellent story, might I add. No, that is not Jackson Courtney Perkins who's coming on. He's taken the number 14 of Mr. Courtney Perkins. George Botsioulis is going to make his way onto the park. Looks like for Andrew Mezzaruni. And intriguingly enough, it is, of course, not Luke Barfarosh, who was listed as a number 14 on the team sheet either. So a bit of a nightmare for everyone involved. Goodness gracious. Here's Pateri. It is, of course, Abraham Mathet who's made his way onto the park. The number 14 in question, as the name set of Jackson Courtney Perkins. Luke Barfarosh is listed as number 14 on the team sheet. But he's, of course, has number 38. So, what a nightmare for referees, potentially. You're a gag. And Mathet, of course. A very fantastic story for him. Of course, arrived mid-season from State League 3, Heidelberg Eagles, and spent some time at FC Strathmore last season. So he's made the trek up, not just to State League 2 or State League 1 or VPL 2. He's had to play up all the way to NPL 1, and that is quite the journey that he's taken. 6 levels up for him. An excellent turn from Hope, will look to drive. He's got Iannucci to his left. There's Gianluca Iannucci. And now Luca Tavia. Oh, the book was written for him to get his name onto the score sheet on that occasion. It will fall kindly for Charlie Leach in the shot right to the back of a Gully player. So we approach the final 5 minutes. It's Baker. Teasing ball into the area, but can't find a target. Here's Dane Milovanovic. Baker. Iannucci, excellent work. Find its way towards Luca Tavia, who will find Emmanuel Peters. Approaching the edge of the area, he's brought to ground by Maker. And he will go into the book. And this is a gargantuan opportunity for Green Gully. And George Botsioulis, of course. This is, of course, actually his NPL Victoria debut for the Port Melbourne Sharks, arriving across from Dandenong City. Mid-season, and has scored a total of 10 goals in 22 matches in the 23s competition. And it will be Gianluca Iannucci. We know he's a set-piece dynamo. But in the 85th minute, he needs to show his quality. Bavkar will blow his whistle. And it will be Gianluca Iannucci over the bar. And well, the task has been made clear and abundant for the Sharks and for Green Gully. They'll be unrelenting in their pursuit. Of course, playing 5-6 tiers up. And Baker will drive. Plenty of players in the mixture. It's Method. The back heel effort. Wonderful for Charlie Leach. The Port Melbourne Sharks. Charlie Leach with the brace. A double. And his first 2 goals of the campaign are the most incredible goals you will witness at JL Murphy. They've turned the tide of the Port Melbourne Sharks, and they're on the precipice of a famous come-from-behind win against Green Gully, which is almost certainly going to keep their finals hopes alive. Incredible. All balls to the wall for the Sharks. They've come up big, and it is Charlie Leach, the diminutive yet technically excellent midfielder. My oh my, what a treat this second half has been. What a game it's been. And there might be more late drama. Dare I say, Gully have only looked at their bench just the once. And that might prove to be, perhaps, a sticking point as the game reaches its conclusion. The Sharks also, this will be their first win in over 8 matches. If they're able to secure the win. There's plenty of storylines. Plenty of storylines. They haven't won in so long. In fact, you'd argue that this is their most integral win of the season. They let 6th place drift away a few weeks ago, and they haven't won since the 25th of May when they defeated the Melbourne Knights at home. And their home form will continue this evening if they are able to keep it at 3-2. But the 90th minute is steadfastly approaching, and Gully will be on the chase now. Despite all the acrimony, all the drama on and off field in recent weeks, the Sharks have remained steadfast and composed tonight. And Iannucci will pick off the space now. Charlie Leach is a big game player, and it's been proven tonight. It's really a career game for him, you have to say, in this circumstance. Of course, coming across from Western Australia, it's not easy to adjust to Victorian football, and he's certainly taken it like a duck to water. The reverse pass, Siyama, ball into the mixer, and it's sent high and long. In fact, looks like Leach is going to be taking his time now. And I think the physio might be called here. No, it looks like it's going to be all okay. Good news. opportunities for him at the very least. And Gully haven't looked at their bench again. I mean, they've got a lot of quality available if they want to use it. And I'm very surprised by this perhaps tactical method of intention from him on Falzon. I mean, you know, you've got Dalibor Markovic, Arif Murphet, Mohamed Adam. I mean, so much quality, such in abundance as well. And the fact that they're not even going to utilize those players, it looks like, is quite the decision to be made. I mean, Markovic is a very tidy player. I mean, Mohamed Adam is an absolute dynamo, and we will have stoppage time minutes confirmed. It will be, looks to be, I think, 5 minutes, yes. Regaig goes to ground as he looks to drive forward. I think Marino's very upset with the decision there by one of his Port Melbourne players to drive, and Gully with a lot of urgency now. And it will be Iannucci to send this one in. Just about everyone is upfield, and it's sent right into the palms of Salamanov Trenkov. Well, in wet, cold conditions here at JL Murphy, the Sharks are on the precipice of securing their first win since May. And the goal-scoring exploits of Charlie Leach, which we haven't seen this season, have arrived. He has arrived here at JL Murphy for the Port Melbourne Sharks. Let's hope. Baker. Luke Barfarosh. It's Baker once more. Searching ball, looking for Bechvinovsky. Regaig. Laterally for Iradikunda, and Gully will have to urge numbers forward now. It's a do or die for them. It's Pateri imposing his influence. It will be Sharks ball, I must say. Excellent job it has been from their substitutes, Gazim, Milovanovic as well, of course the young boy, George Butsiolis, and of course Abraham Mathet. As they do win a quarter as well, do the Sharks. And they might just take a victory lap now as well. They will bide their time. And it will be, looks to be Luke Barfarosh to deliver potentially. No, I think it will be someone else maybe. And, yep, they'll send it to the quarter flag, the age-old tactic. But it will be a Gully goal kick now. This is the last roll of the dice. Well, we've certainly seen late drama in the NPL in recent weeks. Pierce Clark scored a stoppage time equalizer. Could Gully continue that trend? Iannucci. Ball directed towards the back post, but there's no one in pursuit, and the Sharks will get the goal kick here. And the roar from the bench that you're going to hear in just a few moments is going to be huge. Gargantuan, I don't think words can really describe. Salamanov Trenkov is taking his time and has been cautioned. Maker. Betvinovsky. Long searching ball. Asking plenty of it towards the byline. He will go right in the corner. In no rush to attack. He's kept the ball in play and will send the ball right towards the byline. Butsiolis back towards Betvinovsky. Looking to nutmeg Regaig. He's having none of it. Adam Bavkar looks at his watch. Play will continue. Regaig. And here is Tavir. Oh, that's a reckless challenge from Alex Baker. That is hugely, massively reckless. Completely lunges at it. And I think that will be his night done, potentially. And a massive brawl ensuing. Iradikunda now getting involved. Emmanuel Peters as well. It looks like there will be a decision to be made here. And what will the decision be here? Tavir completely upended by Alex Baker. He's just going to marshal back to his defensive position. But I'm sure a card will be handed out. They will fight tooth and nail to the final whistle. Alex Baker has been told to make his way over. And in fact, it might be Emmanuel Peters. I'm not sure who Adam Bavkar is signalling to come. Baker's not been called over. No, he has been, actually. So, a yellow card to Tavir. A yellow card to Baker. And I think Luke Barfarosh is also been handed a yellow card as well. So Baker avoids red. As here is the final, most certainly final roll of the dice from Gianluca Iannucci. Fairly flat delivery, the backwards header. Nick Marinos is absolutely incensed with the amount of time that's been added on as a result of that tackle from Alex Baker. And now it's Siyama driving towards the area. The 1-2. Peters across the face. Baker keeps it in play. After 2 months, 8 weeks, the Port Melbourne Sharks are back on the winners list and will regain 7th place on the table. A giant step for the Sharks. More misery for Green Gully. Charlie Leach will be crowned the hero at JL Murphy Reserve as goals from himself, Andrew Mezzaruni, Jamie Latham, and Gianluca Iannucci is what leaves proceedings here at JL Murphy. An absolute classic. The Port Melbourne Sharks prevail. I've been Neil Simons for NPL Victoria. It's been a pleasure to have your company. We'll see you very, very soon.